Okay, welcome back, everybody. And so today we have Denis Klopper on. I'm not even going to try and introduce you because you've got such a colorful background and you've done this incredible book for 60 years of Porsche racing at Kyalami Grand Prix circuit. So that's the famous track that we've got here in Johannesburg in South Africa. And it has a very, very rich racing history, and nobody else better than yourself to actually construct and put together a book like this, which has actually just been handed to me now, my own copy. That's with right. A beautiful. I'm going to let you do this formally. So I'd like you to introduce yourself, Denis. Just give us a little bit of who you are and how this came about to write this book.
Okay, Denis Klopper. Been involved in Kyalami since I was 6 years old as a spectator in the late 60s. Watched the Grand Prix there and never missed a race since then. Was fortunate to be the GM for many years, from 2004 till after the reconstruction.
Now, hold on a second. So from the age of 6 years old, you watched your first race there and you watched every race from there onwards. And then later on in life, you became the general manager of Kyalami Racecourse in about, did you say 2004?
2004, yes.
Damn. Yeah. You became the race manager, the general manager of the racecourse.
For a few owners. Mike Fogg was the then owner.
Yeah.
Then the Theodosio brothers took over the circuit. And then, fortunately, Toby Venter bought the circuit at the auction in 2014, which saved the circuit. Yeah.
So in 2014, the track went up for sale, and Toby Venter, who owns Porsche South Africa,
correct,
bought the track. Isn't that bloody marvelous to save? And so that was the actual savior of the track.
Absolutely. By then the circuit had really declined. It hadn't been managed for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
And once it got into Toby's hands with his vision and a lot of money, the circuit was rebuilt, reconstructed, and today it's a premier venue.
So Toby Venter, I mean, I think that was just probably one of the most brilliant moves to buy that track. I remember when that track came up for sale, I mean, it was, what was it sold for? I mean, rumor has it about 205 million rand.
Well, at the auction it was 205
205 million rand. And would you know how much money has gone into it since then? Rough idea. I mean, because I remember there were some huge figures to reconstruct. I went out there when they were reconstructing that track and rebuilding it. I still drove around. I got a little tar piece, actually.
Yes, we cut tar like the Berlin Wall, something similar.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what a pleasure what an honor, actually, to have a piece of that track that's been there for many, many years. So they re-tarred, I'm guessing, the whole surface.
We did. We stripped off the... It started off as a project to refresh the facility, to redo the circuit and fix up the pit building.
Yeah.
It ended up being a complete reconstruction, redesign of the circuit.
Yeah.
Complete overall of all the safety features. We pulled out 100,000 old tires, had to replace them.
Oh, really?
Kilometers of fencing, cabling, resurfaced the whole circuit. Took the whole surface off, and we used that for the service for the side roads to surface, to tar the side roads. So a massive project, and then the building expanded into a huge project, which probably was close to 150 to 200 million at the end of the day. The circuit was at least 100 million.
So hold on a second. So there was 150 to 200 million, then another 100 million for the circuit.
I don't know. I can't recall the exact figures,
Yeah.
but Toby's invested over 600, 700 million
That's
into that circuit, and probably more. There's a lot of other things that have been done subsequent to then that has improved the facility into a world-class facility that it is today.
And I mean, this is probably a dumb question, but how does one get a return on your investment? I mean, 600, call it 700 million. How do you get your return on investment?
The only way a circuit can survive, and that's why Kyalami never did well prior to then, was you've got to create a multi-faceted venue. You can't just rely on motorsport. So you have to have a conference center, a facility that can host multiple events outside of motorsport.
Yeah.
Because as a pure motoring or motorsport venue, it can't sustain itself.
Yeah.
So, with Toby's vision of creating this multifaceted venue, the venue survives and is profitable. Obviously the value of the property increases over time as well. So he's a clever man, and he knows what he's doing, as he's done with Porsche South Africa, and he's a man of vision. And without his input and vision and money, we wouldn't have Kyalami today.
And I mean, his business model has always been admired by many. You've got all the brands in South Africa. With Toyota, you got Mercedes-Benz, you got Ferrari, you got and Porsche, Bentley, etc., etc. And I'm, having bought my first Porsche from him, my first vehicle from him when he was still in Randburg. Was it Randburg?
Randburg, yes.
And so that's got to be 30 years ago that I bought my first car from him. And obviously we've had that relationship all along all these years, and I don't know how many I've bought and sold, but it's always the same money. You lay out your money for the first car, you eventually sell it, and Porsche hold their value better than any car in the world, in my opinion, anyway. And I think that is a fact, actually. And then if you pay 100,000 rand in those days for a car, you sell it for 200,000 2 or 3 years later. With that, you buy
upgrade,
and so you go on. So if you say you've had 25 Porsches, it doesn't mean to say you've bought 25 Porsches. With it's the same money, really, and that's what makes the brand such a spectacular brand.
It's the professionalism of the dealerships and the staff, and
absolutely,
and all of it that creates a successful business.
Yeah, and I mean that track. I've seen, obviously I've raced there, and the facilities are spectacular. From a conference point of view, the conference facilities, the offices, it's just a spectacular building, that central part.
It is. It is multifaceted. It creates.
So that's where they generate funds on there. So I mean, us guys, we only go there when we race, but in between all that, you're hosting. So, I mean, your job must have been a nightmare.
Well, to be honest, the reconstruction project was some of the most exciting years of my life. It was an incredible experience to work with a team.
Yeah.
Andrew Baldwin, he helped develop the Porsche centers for Toby in South Africa, and together we rebuilt Kyalami, and it was an amazing project. Working with Charlie Whiting, FIA, with local motorsport authorities to get the circuit to international level. We got it to grade 2 level, which is one level below F1.
Is that okay? So is that the current grading?
That is the current
what do you
grading.
Call it?
It's FIA grade 1 is for Formula 1. We grade
Formula
2.
1 standard, yeah.
Kyalami is grade 2.
Yeah. So, I mean, the question that everybody's always asking, and it's probably premature to ask the question now already, but, when is it going to be Formula 1 ready, or do you have to get a confirmed Formula 1 signing before you upgrade it to?
No, not at all. You can get the circuit F1 graded, but it would be pointless unless you had the F1 deal.
That's what I mean, You get the deal first and then you upgrade it.
Correct. The circuit itself is pretty close to being F1 ready. There's some, Tech Pro and various other elements that need to be added. But there's a lot more to it than just the circuit. There's the the grandstands, the spectator areas, and everything that Formula One needs as it is today. In the last 10 years, Formula One has grown significantly, and the demands on the promoter and on the circuit have increased dramatically in that time frame. And it's all about money at the end of the day.
So to bring a Formula One event there, they don't pay South Africa or the track owner, for example. Is it Toby Venter that says, all right, I need $50 million, please, and you can use the track for Formula One, or is it, or do they say you need to pay us to come?
Well, there's different models at different circuits in the world.
Generally speaking,
in Kyalami's instance, Toby would rent a facility to a promoter. So you've got three people involved. You've got the venue, the promoter, and then F1.
Okay, makes sense.
You've got there's a rights fee that F1 want to bring the show.
Right.
There would be a fee that Toby would want for the venue.
Yeah.
And then the promoter would have to generate revenue in order to cover both sides of the coin, if that makes sense. And F1 owns a lot of the revenue, so it's quite a challenging business model to make work. You need crowd numbers are key, and if you look at the events today, 400,000 spectators over a 3-day weekend. I think Silverstone nearly hit 500 or did hit 500,000. You need the numbers to make it work.
If I look at Kyalami, there seems to be a huge shortage of grandstands. When I look at the other tracks, this has got these grandstands all the way around the track. I don't see many grandstands. A lot of grass, campers.
Well, I think that was the way it currently is how it was designed.
Right. The guys can drive in.
Grass embankments to bring people back. It wasn't built or rebuilt for Formula One in mind from that element. And you would have to bring in a lot of extra seating into a Formula One environment to make it work.
Yeah, and nowadays when you see how quickly they put up grandstands and stuff, and they come in and build them all and take them all down again afterwards, etc. But so I just want to say, I want to announce here that this is the book that you have painstakingly put together, and this is what, it's been about a 5-year project?
Well, no.
How many years?
It's actually almost been my whole life in many ways.
Wow.
We did 60 Years of Kyalami Memories was our first book. We started that in COVID. One of the days when Toby came to visit Kyalami, he said something which left an impression on me. He said, everyone's got a Kyalami memory. And it's true. Everyone's got a Kyalami story. Whether you've been there once or 100 times, you've got a Kyalami story. So when COVID came, I approached him and said, shall we do a book on 60 years of Kyalami history, 60 years of memories?
And why 60 years? What?
Well, it was 60 years at that point.
At that point?
The circuit was opened in 61. The idea was to get the book out in 2001, but we didn't. And even here, we sort of missed the mark. But these are huge projects. They're done professionally. They're done properly. They take time. You've got to get it right. And I'm my worst enemy in that I keep on wanting to add to it. And at some point, it's a huge team involved in putting this together.
So this is my copy that you've generously...
Your copy number, is it number 8 that you wanted?
Same number as my car.
Correct.
By the way, this is when I raced at Kyalami with this beautiful Carrera RSR Turbo, which is the tribute car of the 1974, which was basically the first turbocharged Porsche they ever made.
Correct.
And it was a 2.1 liter, 500 horsepower car, weighed about 900 kilograms. And for me to build this tribute was a painstaking. It came down the lines, and it came through Andre Besaidno's hands, and then it came into my hands. And I spent, I think, the next eight years getting this car to as close as its original standard as possible. And I had the privilege to race this car at Kyalami.
Well, that was the Festival of Motoring. We invited you to attend as a guest. We had classic parades, and you came, brought the car, spectacular car, to the event. I think it's 2017 or 2019. Great memories. And book number 8, we did 100 special editions, of which you've got number 8 for obvious reasons.
Yeah, number of my car. That's really special. You know, Dennis, this is like really, really special. I mean, and then together with that, you've given me beautiful copy of me in the pits with the pit girls.
With your pit crew, I think it is.
Yeah, it says pit crew. Yeah, I wish. But it was a fabulous day. I mean, it was a really, really an amazing experience. And then another signed copy of Toby Venter signed this. That's beautiful, man. You know, and that was his spectacular car. I mean, this car, it used to eat up every supercar in this country on every extreme event. It's just an incredible GT2R, and it's a 993 GT2R. I remember this thing goes, and he's still got this car, I would imagine.
He definitely does have it.
Yeah.
And, you know, he certainly knew how to drive it.
Yeah.
He still does.
He's a spectacular driver. I mean, that man can drive.
But as a matter of interest, that car has won more races at Kyalami than any other race car.
Is that a fact?
I'm
That's a
talking
very
about
interesting point.
overall victories, not class victories.
Overall victories.
Because it also raced over such a long period.
Yeah.
And he, as you say, he generally dominated the series.
Yeah, and you can see my little model over there. That at one stage that car was really popular. It was, somebody commented one day it's the most photographed Porsche, you know, on the circuit at the time.
And the sound and the whole
yeah, and I got this beautiful model that somebody got for me at some stage, and it's featured in so many books. There's another book over there that it's featured in these magazines. Yeah, it was really a fantastic car to drive. I mean,
well, there's a few pictures in the book as well.
Yeah. So,
and the book is also signed and numbered. You'll see in the front.
I'm doing this all live, guys. I haven't not opened this book yet, and oh, look at that. So your signature, Toby Venter's signature, and 60 years of Porsche racing in the Grand Prix circuit. Beautiful sticker, number 8 of 100, special edition. Guys, you got to get this book. This everything about. You tell me. Look at this.
The first race at Kyalami was the 9 hour in 1961.
Is that a 9 hour? I remember that.
Race was won by a Porsche 550, driven by John Love and Dr. Davy Goos. So Porsche won the very first race at the Kyalami circuit, and that's why the significance of the book. Porsche came back with a 9 hour in 2019.
Yeah,
and won again with the GT race car in the 9 hour. So a long history of wins from the 550. David Piper won in the 917, which was iconic. It was only the second victory of a 917 in the world happened at Kyalami.
Is that so?
And David Piper wrote the forward for us as well, and I see he signed your cap as well there.
That is spectacular. I mean, you know, this passion for speed event that he puts up every year, it's just brilliant. I raced in quite a few of those, and I must say I'm honoured to have a cap that David signed for me.
You know, Peter de Toy does an amazing job with that event, and
absolutely,
David. You know, David still comes out and visits. He loves South Africa.
Yeah,
him and his wife Liz, they love coming to South Africa.
It's amazing that he's still doing this.
The forwards were done by Toby, David Piper, Derek Bell wrote a forward for us, and
look at that, yeah.
And then of course Sarel van der Merwe, who's iconic South African Porsche Porsche Racing driver.
Yeah, that is really special, I must say. I mean, this is spectacular. I mean, this is all our legends, and these guys are all alive still, you know, which is quite incredible.
They are, and they're still very
Living
much
legends. Derek Bell, I mean, you know, I remember racing against Sarl. It was an endurance race, and our car didn't make it. It was at Pekisa, and we were like changing. I had a really very hot a 99. It was a 997 Cup car, and Sarl was in a, what do they race? Those Janettas.
Oh yes,
Janetta, and it's, you know, it was, our car was a bit quicker and he was a better driver, so it was like this.
Good match.
And then I'd get past him, and he would, in the next few corners, he'd zip past me. Then I'd battle for a few laps to, you know, maybe just hesitate a little bit here and there. But he outdrove me completely, and then I think it was halfway through the race, our car packed up, and but I was there to see him when he came in. You know, sang the national anthem with him before we did the race. It was so special, you know. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to admire him and think to myself, "Oh, what is it?" My mother loved him. I mean, my mother always used to say, "Oh, he's such a good-looking man," you know. And but I remember him coming off the track, and he got out the car, and I was the first one standing there, and he was exhausted. He was soaked in sweat. And, you know, I just gave him a hug, and I actually shed a tear. It was really, really something special to watch. Very emotional.
I mean, he was 12 times South African rally champion. He raced at Le Mans 8 or 9 times. He raced for the factory team at Le Mans.
Is it that many times? I'm dying. Is that all that history is in here?
A lot of it is in there. He won Daytona 24 Hours with the South African team. Tony Martin and Graham Duxbury. They won in a Porsche engine-powered March. Iconic. These are two legends of the sport.
That 24-hour that he won, apparently he drove a lot more than the rest of the team. I don't remember the exact details, but
he probably did. But you know, there is certain rules that
yeah.
do limit.
So he didn't break any rules, but
not on that occasion.
You're not officially. Look at this. Is this Kyalami? Man,
that is Kyalami. Yeah.
Those are the days when they used to run across the track. I mean, look at this guy's got shorts on.
Well, look, the drivers are in the cars.
Okay, the drivers are in the car, so their pit crew is running across.
Which is a lot safer way of doing it.
Yeah, there we go. This is fascinating. I mean, I never realized that so much detail has gone into this book, Dennis, and I can't wait to go through it. And I'm so happy to have ordered this book, and I've been waiting and chomping.
You have been waiting a long time.
But it's been a hell of an exercise for you. So this book is available now. I know that most of the copies are sold out. You ran a limited edition amount, but you've still got...
We've still got some collector's editions available, but we have the standard edition, which is, you know, basically just the book as you see it there.
Yeah, without
the editions
cover.
And covers and prints.
Okay, yeah, I got the special one.
Every one of the special books are individualized, so you choose your prints where you can. You choose numbers.
Yeah.
So we try and individualize it a lot like the Porsches that you can order and individualize. We try and apply a bit of the spec to the book.
Well, I tell you, I'm so pleased I spec this, but you chose the pictures, I think.
I did.
And they're very special, I must say. I mean, this really is... I'm so chuffed with this. So chuffed. Dennis, thank you so much. And I'd really like to see these books in good hands. I think everybody who's a motorsport enthusiast, should have one of these books.
I think for us, as SA Motorsport Memories, our real objective is to try and preserve this history that we have in this country. If you want to buy a book on Le Mans, you can buy hundreds of books on the history of Le Mans or Sebring or Indianapolis or Silverstone, but not on local. We have a number of local books, but we don't have enough. So in doing this, we're preserving this history for future generations, and it's a rich history. We've had the best of the best racing at Kyalami and in South Africa. Obviously, Kyalami was always the central hub of the international events, but we do cover a lot of the local Porsche participation in the book as well, not just the international stuff.
So, so you managed that track throughout its development and to what it is today. And so you must have seen a lot. I mean...
Well, I think when I took over as general manager in the early 2000s, the circuit was very run down.
Yeah.
We rebuilt it to bring it back to grade 2 specs. We had both FIA and FIM gradings, which is motorcycles and cars.
Yeah.
We hosted World Superbikes and A1. So we got the circuit back to a very high standard.
Yeah.
And then sadly it dropped for various reasons. And then, Toby brought it back again. So it's gone through cycles. But I can honestly say for the first time, probably in its history, its future is secure. It's been up and down and for decades. As you know, the original circuit doesn't exist anymore. This is a portion of the circuit that still exists.
Yeah.
But, for now, the circuit is safe and it's viable. And that's what makes it a big difference.
And I can't wait to tuck into this. I'm just seeing this camel-coloured. Is it a 919? What do they call this?
And that's a 956 or 962.
Yeah. Because, I've just converted one of my a 996 Porsche Turbo to a rally car.
Okay.
And the colour scheme is the camel trophy. But glad to see there's one of them around. Definitely. Oh, there we go. Oh.
We had all the top teams. The factory team came out, Rossmann's, Porsche. We had Joest, Brunn. All of the top Porsche teams came to this country. And up until quite recently with the 9 hour, we had the best of the best.
Is there an inventory we're showing all the drivers?
There are certain results sections where we cover every single race result, chassis number. So we go into detail in the book, covering all the results from every Porsche event.
Oh, really?
Every Porsche that raced at Kyalami is covered in the statistics section.
And I can see you literally got a little storyline of, Victor doing this. He was chased by Eddie Roux in a 928. And so, you're describing some of the racing as well.
I think for us, the pictures are very important. People don't read much anymore. So the quality of the pictures, without the photographers, we wouldn't have the pictures. And they're vital to all of these books.
Got some spectacular pictures.
And
I recognize.
Having the right caption to explain the picture is important. And we've got a German translation as well with each caption.
Oh, really? Yes. I just need to read a little bit further. So it's English and in German.
Correct. Yeah.
This is Dave Ferree, 2007. I recognize. I'm sure somebody's got it in their collection.
A lot of these cars are still around, which is really nice.
Yeah, and beautiful collections.
Correct.
The main thing is this is about a book, and it's we're talking now about a book. We're not talking. Normally I have some motorsport event guy on, behind the mic, and the main objective is to get the young to increase the interest in motorsport amongst the youngsters, upcoming people, and to take young drivers and motivate them and inspire them, and books like this where you can see the history. I guess any subject today, there's always a history.
There is, and there's a heritage, and I think we have to learn from the past. We have to remember the past and learn from it. And the youngsters of today need to look at what these people achieved, how they achieved it, and you'll learn a lot from that. That was the first lap we did of the circuit after we'd finished the refurbishment. So the whole Porsche management and Kyalami management is in the picture, which is very special.
I see the whole team is here. Man, oh man, yeah. I remember racing against Toby on the Samola Hill climb.
Yes.
And thankfully, I think he broke a side shaft or something.
Yeah, that car was designed more for rolling starts, not for standing starts.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Thankfully, because I at least finished, but he was so quick with that car. Oh, look at this. Oh, man. Oh.
So we did a whole story on the car. And on his relationship with the car. And also John Critchfield, who manages the car, builds the car,
iconic,
maintains
engineer,
the car. Incredible. So we did a story on John as well.
I mean, that was one of his weapons that Toby had in his arsenal when it comes to his race cars. I mean, nobody had very few people had the race engineering.
The background. Well, you also mustn't forget in the 80s, Toby won the Turbo Cup Championship, which was run in this country. He beat the best of the best in the 944 Turbo Cup Series, and he was South African champion.
No, he can race, this guy. He can race. A lot of people out there know. A lot of people out there have lost to him in the past. And how's he doing racing today? Because I see he's getting less and less race meetings. I think he had an ankle injury at some stage that looks like it's possibly might be.
I don't think that would affect his driving at all.
No.
But obviously, the businesses are growing. He has multiple businesses, and
beautiful wine farm.
And I'm sure that whenever he gets opportunity, when there's no one around, he takes the car and does a few laps.
Yeah, and demo drives, of course. I mean,
of course, he loves taking people around the circuit.
We've all been there. It's get in there, get out there, pale-faced, like holy shit, this boy can drive. It's
there's no middle. It's
nobody can demonstrate the capabilities of a Porsche than what he can. I'm interested in buying a GT3 or a Carrera or whatever. Let me take it for a drive. Come, guys, get the car out. Go up to the car and puts you in the car, goes around, and then suddenly, bang.
And the opening race, after we'd done the refurbishments, that's the race there.
Yeah.
He said the quickest race lap of the day, and we had over nearly 400 entries on that opening event in 2016, and he was quicker than the bike.
Do you remember what that time was? Was it in here somewhere?
It would be, but my head is full.
You've had to go through so much detail.
Yeah, there's John.
There's the man, John Critchfield. Is he still taking care of
his
car?
No, he is. He's still taking care of
Because he's got his own dedicated workshop at the track.
At the circuit, yes.
So, on this program, we like to also venture down some epic shit stories, where you've really had some form of adventure that you'll never forget. Have you got anything really, something that'll excite us, story to tell about the track?
Running the circuit for so many years, there's a lot of stories. Some which I probably can't tell.
But what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Kyalami attracts everyone, and you have from kings to criminals coming. There's no the attraction of Kyalami covers the full spectrum.
Yeah.
World Superbike event. A lot of protocol, as you know. We had the premier there of Gauteng, who was Shaloa at the time.
Yes.
The vice premier was Paul Mashatili.
Is this 2016?
2010.
Okay.
And we were walking on the grid with his entourage, and I get a call on the radio. I need to come quickly. There's a blocked toilet, so we rush off.
Now you're walking with the mayor and the
the premier
and the premier. And they're calling you for a blocked toilet.
Well, they had a few issues, so I had to go and have a look and see what the potential solution was. We then ran back and carried on walking down the grid. So running a circuit, you go from one extreme to another, and you've
down
got
to micromanaging, to sorting out all the little details.
And you're responsible for a lot of people's safety. Motorsport is the dangerous.
I was going to say that, safety, casevacking, helicopters, ambulances,
medical staff, marshals. For the Grand Prix, or even World Superbikes, we needed 300-400 marshals. It's an incredible amount. A Grand Prix now, you'd probably need 1,000 marshals at Kyalami.
But actually, if you think about it, because every micro foot of that track's got to be covered by eyes.
Correct.
Accident happens here, it must be a chain reaction immediately. And I've often wondered how that happens so quickly.
It's interesting to be behind the scenes of, you as a driver are not focusing on what's happening behind the scenes.
We're just looking for the crashed car when we see a yellow flag.
Correct.
Can we slow down? Yeah.
So, running the circuit, you're doing everything else. You're making sure all those things are in place.
Yeah.
So that if there is an incident, it can be dealt with.
Yeah.
You also can't have marshals crossing the circuit, so you need to have them on both sides of the circuit.
Yeah.
A lot of medical staff, but it's a lot of security, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
So many elements to, facets to it.
Yeah. Now I want to put this thing here so everybody can see it.
Like many facets to doing a book.
Where can the listeners buy this book and get this book from?
So we try and sell direct to people. This book is available at all the standard edition is available at all the Porsche centers in South Africa. So you can go to
that's a good one.
Porsche
Any
Center,
Porsche
Johannesburg, Pretoria, Umhlanga, or Cape Town. You can buy the book at the shops. You can probably go and buy a lot of other nice things at the shop as well.
Yeah, so even if you don't have a Porsche, you can go and get this book because it's Kyalami, Motorsport Kyalami, Porsche. You can go to any Porsche dealership.
And if you not have access to those dealerships, we've got a website, samotorsportmemories.com.
samotorsportmemories.com.
And on that website, you can order the book and we will deliver it.
Hand delivered.
By a courier service.
Depends, yeah. Okay. Yeah, mine,
Yours
guys,
was
hand delivered here today, and I'm really, really chuffed about it. And I really need you guys to go out and get this book. It is spectacular. If you have any interest in motorsport, even if you don't have interest in motorsport, there's some incredible cars here, some incredible pictures. It's really a masterpiece of history for Kyalami, and really well done to you and to Toby Venter.
There's a team involved. I mean, I'm one element of the team.
I
write
the author
the book.
of this book. I mean, I've seen you. You've interviewed me, painstaking hours here, and you've gone to everybody.
But we've got editors, we've got designers, we've got all sorts of people involved. This is not a one man.
No, it's a whole team.
It's a whole team, and without the team, you can't do it.
Yeah.
And then the printing of it is another challenge. Comes with a lot of issues, and it's a business I would not get into at all.
But you're in it.
Well, in terms of printing it.
No, the printing business. Yeah, somebody else. It's like editing, like these shows and that stuff. I don't want to get involved in the editing. I want to arrive, talk, get out. And I know what goes on behind the scenes.
So we have a language editor, and we have a factual editor. So Roger Houghton, well-known journalist in South Africa. He does a lot of the fact-checking for us. He acts as an editor.
Yeah.
And then we've got an English lady who knows nothing about motorsport, who corrects all my bad grammar.
No, it's incredible. So you are also doing books on drivers now. Tell us a bit about that.
So we're doing a series of books on South African motorsport legends. Jan Schechter being the first. We are hoping to have his book out by Christmas.
Jan Schechter. Wow.
We've been working on that for nearly 2 years. The amazing thing for me is I used to watch these people race sitting on the side of the fence.
Now you're interviewing them.
And they've become friends. Ian Arnold Chats, Ben Morganrud, Sarl. We're doing something on Sarl. We're actually also putting something together on Roger McCleary's life in motorsport. He turned 90 recently. Incredible history.
He's amazing, isn't he?
No, he's a legend of legends.
Yeah.
The whole idea is to preserve this history and maintain it. There's a lot of people who have museums in this country that are also doing a huge bit to preserve our heritage and history.
Mm-hmm.
People such as Steve Katurba in Benoni and Anton in Neisner, and obviously the Franschhoek Museum. It's important. We need to preserve it, and we need to
Absolutely
retain it. So
100%.
we're working on a number of projects, and look forward to getting them out soon.
Well, I'd like to at least, I'd like these legends as far as possible to get them on this program with you, and you'll have all the questions.
And they've got all the stories.
And they've got the stories. I need the stories. I've heard some classic stories. I've heard of TVs being thrown out of bedrooms and wild songs and parties and.
I was fortunate to spend a whole day with Willie Hepburn,
Yes.
interviewing him literally 2 weeks before he passed. And we recorded all those conversations.
Oh, fantastic.
And a nice story, he said to me, Dennis, the one thing that upset me about motorsport was that I found out that the people I was racing against were cheating. So I said, Willie, are you telling me that you never cheated? So he said, of course I did. It was disappointing that they were.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah.
So the stories are amazing, and these people are
Did
legends.
he give some cheat stories? Any examples?
I think in those days, I'm talking now 60s, 70s, and maybe into the 80s. They knew how to enjoy their lives. I think we've forgotten in many ways how to have fun.
So when you're talking about cheating, you're talking about obviously tinkering with the cars.
Well, there's borderline and there's grey areas, so you find
You're not talking about cheating with their wives and cheating. And I'm joking.
We don't know.
We don't know. We have no idea. But it can get rough. I'm sure it can get rough. And so you are busy doing books. They'll all be coming out one by one, etc. I want those guys. They will soon to feature on the show. We've done a couple of really good drivers.
Yes, and I've been watching, and
there's
great.
a few drivers. Michael Stevens coming on soon, and he's got a brilliant opportunity.
Unbelievable,
now
Michael, very talented.
Achieve his lifelong goal. I've always wondered why nobody's actually grabbed that guy, but it's one of those cases of there's a driver extremely talented, does not have the funds to go out and drive. Like today, it's the rich kids that are out there driving. There's a lot of similar talent.
There is, and I think unless you're an exceptional talent, someone like Verstappen or...
Yeah, but his father had money.
Well, he did, and he also started karting when he was 4 years old, or 5 years old. So
like Byron Mitchell, same story.
And even today, just to get into karting is massively expensive.
It's become...
so sadly, if you don't have a good financial backing, your chances of success on the international level are slim.
Yeah.
But I suppose it applies to most sports. To get to the top level, it's only the few that get to the top. So.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to punt Michael Stephen and Byron Mitchell. Dragon Racing was actually one of the teams that I spoke to their principal. And, he said, and I said, you must promote South Africans. He's got a rich South African background. And he said, send me the CVs. Let me have a look. Because I obviously did a major PR. I said, you got two serious talents here. And he said, Michael Stephen, he's too old. Okay, let me have a look at him. I said, hold on a second. He said, send me this guy's CV of his schooling, varsity and all that. He doesn't have a CV like that. He's an apprentice machinist. And he left matric, but he's been racing since he was 4 years old. He got onto his first little...
he won many South African championships. Many.
He was 6 years old when he won his first championship. So anyway, then he literally offered him a job. Well, through me, he said, you can come and work as an apprentice, because Byron works on the cars himself. And that's what makes him so remarkable. And you can get into anything and figure it out very quickly, like Michael Stephen can as well. Because Michael Stephen, also an engineer, also one of those guys.
Correct. Who understands what
He understands.
any changes to be made, he understands why.
Quite honestly, I think he's probably one of the best in the world, certainly in this country, you know, when it comes to absolute race engineering
And precision.
and feel and drive. And I try to get this through to these guys. Guys, don't judge him on his age. He's still one of the quickest drivers in this country.
And if you look at GT racing or WC, there's a lot of older drivers racing and participating.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the Van der Lindes, which have been very successful.
Yeah.
They come from a very rich
Are you talking about
family.
Peter van der Linde?
Calvin and Sheldon Van der
Oh,
Linde.
of course. Yeah. What was I thinking of the other van der Linde, the boat racing guy?
Oh, Peter Lindenberg.
Yeah, Lindenberg. Yeah.
We've got Jordan Pepper. So we do have people that
he's
have
doing
made
incredible.
it. The Binders have done exceptionally well in motorcycling. So, you know, South Africa's still got talent which is making it through.
Hugely so. And this is what, I mean, I'm trying to do, and there's other guys out there also trying to do this, to really create a huge awareness for our motorsport talent in South Africa. We've got the talent, we don't have the money. And we've got the tracks now, certainly Kyalami, and an incredibly rich history. And again, it's here in this book. Because I know there's 60 years of Kyalami and there's 60 years of Porsche at Kyalami. But this is the one. You should put these in the dealerships around the world.
Well,
you know, this podcast going around the world. So
we are putting it into, we're hoping to get it into the Porsche Museum shop.
yes,
We have got no formal plans in place, but that is the idea, to send them some copies.
Yeah.
And hopefully spread the word. These are untold stories. I think that's the key thing.
yeah,
As I said, everyone knows what happened at Le Mans, but no one's really known what Porsche's done at Kyalami, and now at least it's now documented.
you know, it's you know, another thing that Porsche did, which I still sort of admire them really for. You know, when Nelson Mandela turned 100 years old, well, his 100th anniversary. I think it was the top 500 companies in the world did something to celebrate that. Some people painted buildings, they had pop concerts and all that. And then Porsche decided to write an article in their magazine. You know, they publish this magazine out every month. I think it comes out every month. The Christophorus magazine.
Yeah, could be quarterly or monthly. I'm not
Quarterly
sure.
or and they sent at their cost a bunch of journalists to South Africa to interview me. Well, the link was I used to fly Nelson Mandela in an aircraft, you know, when he came out of jail and stuff, and of course I, you know, fly Gulfstreams, which is in my mind I'm driving the best built car in the world, which is a Porsche, and I fly the best built aircraft in the world, which is a Gulfstream.
Somebody told me that you have one of the highest hours in a Gulfstream. Is that correct?
There was a time, and it's just because of my experience, not, you know, I got ahead of, you know, in my days, if you could get on a Gulfstream, you had to be like 50 years old and with 30 years of experience and so on. And I managed to get on a Gulfstream right from the get-go of my flying career. So there was a time when, you know, in class when we do our recurrence at Savannah, Georgia, the Gulfstream factory, there was a time now and then when, you know, when you start your class, they welcome everybody and they say, oh, and welcome Peter van der Spuy. He's one of the most experienced, highest time Gulfstream pilots in the world currently. And I always just said, that doesn't mean you say you can ask me any questions and that I know everything about a Gulfstream. It's just because I've been flying them for so many years.
Well, the odds are you will know.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do that
But
aircraft blindfolded.
talking about history, I think your grandfather was head of the Air
My
Force.
grand uncle, there's 2 layers.
Yes.
He's not my direct grandfather, but there's General Kenneth van der Spuy, because there's 2 of us aviators. He was a great one, and then Dave van der Spuy, his one son, was also a pilot, and then there's 2 layers down. There's 2 of us pilots in the whole system.
But the point is that it's once again goes back to the history and the heritage.
Exactly.
I think that's really the message that we try and convey with the books.
Yeah. So the Christophorus magazine, I mean, that's what Porsche did. They came to South Africa and did a magnificent article about my experience with Nelson Mandela. So they published this magazine to honor Nelson Mandela's 100th anniversary, which I thought was quite special. I mean, they came out here, they did the interviews, took pictures and all that sort of stuff. And then I forgot about it a year later when it's actually time, because they came a year in advance. I was walking in a shop in Hong Kong, in the Porsche dealership, and the dealer principal came and said, "Can I ask you a personal question?" Hello, sir. And I said, "Sure, go ahead." He said, "Is this you?" I said, "Me?" "Yeah, it is too." And yes, they did. It was fantastic. So I would like to say, we'd like to. I need to know from you what your driving talent like, seeing as you're writing about books.
Not great. I can drive, but I mean, it was never my ambition to be a race driver.
Because there's tradition on this program that everybody that comes on this program has to do a hot lap, and we give them 8 practice laps, and then they get 5 laps to get their best time. Now we have game rangers that I've been on here that are used to driving 4x4s in the bush, that have had a tour on it. We've had assault helicopter pilots, 1 or 2 race drivers, and so on and so forth. I'd like to stick you on there and see how you do. But if you say categorically, "You know what, Pete, no," then it's also fine.
I think I'll stick to what I do and know best. And
that's write books and do fantastic books.
And work behind the scenes.
Yeah, you ran the track. You didn't. But you know what? I'm going to let you off the hook because...
we'll bring Sarald or Ian or someone of that.
All of them have to go. Anybody who's remotely...
Then you'll get some competition going between...
I'd like to actually get Toby on here as well. And because he's stationed down the road here on a wine farm occasionally. So that's the deal. We'll get Sarald. We'll get all your guys that are in the book.
Suggestion, maybe bring a young talent and an old talent and let them compare notes.
Well,
compare stories.
We record every guy that's been on, and we've got a reference lap. We found a guy that was strolling around in a shopping mall, Checkers or whatever it was, and he came out here. He didn't want to identify himself. Still to this day, I don't know who he is. The mystery guy. We call him the Twig. He's not the Stig. He's the Twig. And he set up a lap. He just came in and did 3 laps, set up a time, said, okay, he's done. Actually, I interviewed him recently, and he wouldn't take his helmet off. That's still don't know who he is. But so nobody's able to come within a second of his time yet. And we've had Jonathan Thomas on here, who was the record holder at Kyalami now recently, which has been broken by... who's the guy that's just broken that record? Charles Visser.
Yes.
He's just broken his record. I think he did sub 40.
Correct. Yeah.
Which is unbelievable. And
the endurance series.
He's actually up. He's coming up on this program soon. And we've had so a couple of race drivers. Where's that leadership piece of paper that I had? Which we've got a beautiful... There we go. So we've had a game ranger on here. Okay, we've had Nick. And Nick Adcock, I'm talking about. We had Louis, who drove with him in the endurance series. Claudio, who's a race instructor.
Yeah, very good.
And none of them came. They got within a second. The race drivers did. Jonathan Thomas did, and then Byron, who is currently an MSA iRacing champion as well, came here, and he got all very excited, and he jumped on there, and he bettered his time by 0.4 of a second.
Sure.
This guy. So we have to get him back. He's apparently said he'll be back. He made a little comment by saying that he's checked the data and the track was a bit cooler when he did the spin Byron at the track. And anyway, so I'd like to end this off now. And it's really been an honor to interview you. It's been a long journey for you. And I really thank you for coming out here and actually hand delivering this book for me. And really, guys, get out here and get this book. It is phenomenal. I can't wait to read it.
It's also an honor for me to be here, and for thank you for your support, and not only in buying the book, but in helping me add your bit of the story to the book. And your passion and all of those things shine through and keep things going. And what you're doing for the younger generation is key and critical. And I take my hat off to you for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It's a very nice compliment coming from you, and I appreciate that. It means a lot to me.
Thank you.
And so, guys, everybody as usual, if you like what we talk about here, subscribe, like, share, and let's get it out there.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.